Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Now, I don't know everything, like I say, but one thing that I'm not even happy about, because how can you be happy if your squad's weak in areas? But I'm happy that people are now, what I guess I'm getting at is that I'm happy now people are seeing that, although I don't know everything and don't claim to, I actually have a clue of what I'm talking about. I'm not sticking them in my comments, on Snap, on everything for saying, definitely at centre half, but more or less, I'll be real. Most people agreed with that, but definitely in regards to a left back, people saying, "How could you call for a left back? Cola's just signed. Monreal's in decent form," which, despite the mistakes that people like to ignore, I agree. Monreal in the crap season we had, if you're looking at some players that could claim they have saved any face from last season, Monreal is one of them. I don't have no agendas, but clearly it's not even like getting at Monreal. Monreal's getting on the bit in age. He's 32. Every season is a big ask. If every injury he gets, it's going to be harder for him to come back from, and things like that. And Monreal at times has been a symbol of this club, rather than just fixing areas, doing nonsense. We've needed a left back for time. When he was playing at centre half, he did that quite well. But more or less every other club that had proper ambitions would have brought that centre half away from Monreal because he wasn't playing today. Cola initially he showed promise at this club, and then for whatever reason, whether it was when Wenger tried him at centre half or whether it was against City or whenever, he just looks shaky defensively, and he does give away silly tackles in front of his own area and in key areas. When it goes, I do like him for what it's worth. I really like him going forward. You see him do Rabona, and he puts in some good crosses. But first and foremost, you need to be able to defend, despite what the modern day requires of a left back or right back in an attacking sense. You have to be able to defend first, and he's shaky at best. If he can be worked on, which I do think it's worth keeping him in some capacity, whether we would like him to blossom and become that first choice tank that he was in the beginning, or a competent second choice. But either way, left back is an area of concern, because Monreal, if he gets injured, then what? Kohler again has been shaky. You saw the penalty today. You've seen that several times you don't in an attacking sense. Kohler's got it, but defensively is what a man was brought here for. And considering he's on competent wages here, to say the least, I mean decent wages here, one of the highest earners at this club, we need him to be competent. He can be a bit slow, he can be a bit brash, but I do like that about him. I like that he's tough in a tackle, he likes to throw his weight around, but it's about balance. Hopefully we can work with him and get some consistency in him, both in the sense of being fit, because I wasn't at the club, I don't know what was going on, but it didn't seem like he was fit, more or less, when he all season, and when he did play, he didn't look fit, so I don't know in that regards. We need a left back. The area which is more concerning for me is centre half. Now, Uno Emery, I applaud a man that believes in his squad. I believe in this squad as well. I believe in the galvanisation that you've brought to this club, and I'm not attacking anyone individually. I've got time for Mavropanos, Chambers and Holding. As much as I like them, even Holding when he came off the bench today, he showed he's good. But we don't know what certain level of performance we're going to get from them. Mavropanos had a stormer at Old Trafford United away. How many players of recent years can say they've left, as an Arsenal player, can say they've left Old Trafford away in any game and actually put in a competent performance? Probably Wells, Monreal and Mavropanos and Maitland-Niles, to be fair. Yeah, but then he went and got sent off against whoever it was. Was it Huddersfield or Everton? I don't even know who it was against. The opposition's not important. He got sent off. I know you lot will remember that. Holding can be very naive defensively. Chambers, I believe Chambers had a good season, but again, you're unsure of what level of performance you're going to get from him if you need 10 games. And what's actually more concerning is I've actually got more faith in the younger players than the experienced ones. Now, I'm not trying to get personal and have digs at Socrates and all of them things. It's not his fault he's signed to the club. At best, we just hope you can be competent and consistent. You seem like someone that opens your mouth and things like that. But it is concerning. He's been slow, like Kolar, slow in the recovery at times. We saw it against Bournemouth. We saw it today against PSG. At times, people are unaware of runners. Mustafi the same. Mustafi's included in this, just unaware of runners. Young Tim Ware, making runs, pulling people out of position, running beyond the last shoulder, pulling people out of position. If he's able to do that, no disrespect to him. But what do you think? Harry Kane, Lukaku, Sergio Aguero, hell, even Shane Long and them man there. What do you think is going to happen in the league? Like, if I'm honest with you, again, I actually think there's something in Mustafi to work with. I've previously spoken about that. But by the same logic, I would listen to offers if we don't see an improvement. And I don't want to get at Socrates because I feel he could be competent and a reliable sort of centre-half when called upon. But if you're honest, if you're looking at that centre-half, any of them centre-halves, Who is really convincing you that you can say that you can sit here in July and say, okay, come May, you're gonna stand up to be counted? In the same way that in a winger sense, you can't really look at. Alright, cool. Aubameyang and Lacazette are here now, so you can say for goals. But previously at Arsenal, you could look at your midfielders, or better yet, you couldn't look at your midfielders in August, July, whenever, and say XYZ is going to be good for this amount of goals, for that amount of assists and things like that. Because football's not hard. Surely you've got to sit down as a manager going into the season with, all right, let's put ourselves in the manager's proposition. We're immediately trying to get back into the top four. Worst comes to worst, an improvement all over. If you can honestly look at the games you face in the top six, the games you could possibly face around the December period, the Europa League if you want to win that and get to the latter stages, if you think these centre-halves are filling you with real confidence that you can be 100% confident in them, then I can't take that away from you, Unai Emery, because you see more on the training ground than I do. But I don't believe that's the case. Again, I'm not getting at them, but defence wins you trophies. Defence wins you titles. The dark arts win you stuff. Yeah, the Ronaldos and Messis and all them other world-class players of previous years are the ones that get the glamour. Obviously are the ones that make the difference. That's why they're in the team. But how do you get to them certain rounds? You have to be competent. How can you not get any... How can you not... Like, bruv, the defence has to be better than this. It's going to take time as well. I've told you, lot, it's not going to be done in pre-season. But if I look at... Alright, Spurs, even if they've lost centre-halves, you look at Spurs, you look at, to a degree, City, which is not spoken about, despite not their centre-halves being a bit shaky, generally speaking, excluding some, they've improved defensively. Liverpool, on the basis of Van Dijk, they're trying to improve defensively. I still think there's a case for Liverpool. Do you get what I'm saying? United, you say whatever about United, the big reason for, regardless of what their United fans will say, how they play and stuff, a big reason as to why where they are is because they can defend. You need to be able to defend. It's like... Even, and what concerns me as well, looking back, and when Unai Emery says that stuff, I prefer to win 5-4 than 1-0. We'd all prefer an entertaining game, but I'd prefer a clean sheet. You guys know I love Wenger ball. I don't like boring football, but this club needs to take more pride in clean sheets, the defensive arts, which Unai Emery is doing, and them sort of things there before we can win or get back to being a competitive club first and foremost. And again, if I'm looking at what my season could possibly face, the level of opposition we could face, and stuff like that, I can't say that's the case for the centre-halves people, because defence wins you titles. Defence wins you titles. You need to, if you don't have any faith in your defenders of all people in your team, then how can you expect to win anything? Defenders are the ones that are meant to be there. Like, you can't build a house backwards. It doesn't matter how good Ozil was at passing the ball, Mkhitaryan is at finding space, Aubameyang and Lacazette, the young G's and Nelson, Will Smith. It don't matter who plays, how good they are, if we cannot defend first and foremost. I'm not suggesting, again, just for the disclaimer, I'm not getting at Unai Emery. I'm just simply saying, surely something's got to be done about centre-half. Like, I don't know if someone's got to go out on loan, or either way, some tough decisions have to be made. And between the centre-half stuff, between Aaron Ramsey's contract saga, some decisions are going to have to be made, because it's still a very long time in the transfer window, but it's also rapidly closing. And the longer you leave stuff, the longer you keep using language like very confident that deals will be signed or doing this and that, the scarier it becomes at times. So yeah, man. Guys, there's not much more to say on that front. Guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe and do the rest. I'm out. Thank you very much for watching.